Hi, this is guidance for Criterion D Strand 2 of the DTIA. And in this strand, you will be evaluating the success of the prototype against the design specification. The IB recommends that this be about 700 words and about 2 pages. In this strand, you are going to evaluate the success of your prototype against the design specifications using the testing strategy that you created in Strand 1. Your prototype must be objectively evaluated against each aspect of the design specifications. Objective evaluation is based on data gathered through your testing strategy. So for instance, you might have surveys, you might actually do some testing involving strength, you're gathering data, whether that's quantitative data or qualitative data. You must implement your testing strategy to gather data, and then you're going to analyze that data as evidence of the success of the prototype. You're going to use evidence of your objective testing using the plan that you created in Strand 1, and that genuine testing should be included in the form of graphs and annotated photographs of performance and user testing. You must avoid basing the determination of the success of the prototype on your own opinion. You must ensure that you justify the success objectively. So this needs to be based on feedback from users and clients and analysis of statistical data. As you're implementing your testing strategy, you may think of additional aspects of the evaluation that you can test. In this case, you are able to carry out additional tests to generate data that assists the justification of the success of your prototype, but you should be then mindful to include any additional tests in your testing strategy. So in other words, go back and add them to your testing strategy if you do any additional tests. The strengths and weaknesses of your prototype will be determined through the evaluation. It is important that these are based on qualitative or quantitative data. So just like the whole evaluation, you need to make sure that this is based on data that you're gathering from clients, from feedback and testing through lots of different methods. The examples of performance are extracts from a full evaluation. And the extracts focuses on 3 aspects of the design specifications in order to illustrate the difference between the different mark bands. The student did produce a complete evaluation against the full design specifications, which included the following: aesthetics, material, function, product constraints, cost, performance, manufacturing, environmental considerations, target market, safety, size, and quality. And this is a high-performing example right here. The student identifies the testing method they have implemented and demonstrates that they have used a mixed approach, including personal testing, product testing with users, and specific testing that evaluates specific aspects of the design specifications. The tests have allowed the student to generate data, and this is used appropriately throughout the evaluation. The justification of the success of the prototype is supported by interviews with users, user surveys, and performance testing. The student has collected data from carrying out the tests, analyzed the data, and presented the insights from that data. The insights are drawn either from interacting with users, that's feedback and observation, or through measuring aspects of performance, that's testing which device would fit in different slots, the angles at which the devices were supported for ease of use. The student does not include any personal opinions on this prototype. The student also identifies both strengths and weaknesses of the prototype. These are supported throughout by evidence of testing. User testing not only focuses on the residents as primary users, but also includes staff at the center as secondary users. The inclusion of secondary users in the evaluation leads to further insights into the maintenance and manipulation of the prototype and makes the evaluation more complete. This is an example of a medium performance for the evaluation against the design specifications. The student identifies the testing method they have implemented and demonstrates they have used a mixed approach, including personal testing, product testing with users, and specific testing that evaluates specific aspects of the design specification. The justification of the success of the prototype is supported by interviews with the user, user surveys, and some personal testing. Some of the aspects that involve personal testing is superficial and is largely based on opinion of the student rather than a performance testing that includes measured data. The student also identifies both strengths and weaknesses of the prototype. These are sometimes supported by evidence of testing. However, there are additional possibilities for providing robust data for evaluation. For example, 8 out of 8 residents say that the tables are stiff to connect. Here, the student could have timed the residents connecting the two parts of the table, measured the force required to connect the table, or included both resident and staff at the center to find out if it was similar feedback between the different groups of users. This is an example of a low performance of an evaluation against the design specification. The student provides some statements related to the evaluation, but there is no evidence of testing. The statements made address each aspect, but they are based on personal opinion rather than the analysis of objective data gathered through testing. There is also evidence the evaluation was not tested with users, as the student identifies only that they interacted with the prototype.